you get to keep it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My name is Dorothy, and I would like to show you Jewel Cave. We only get to see part of it, but come on and look at the map. I think my batteries are running down. This is the tour area, and that rectangle, and the yellow in the middle is the first room we're going to. That's this one, and it's yellow and orange because it's higher up in the cave. And then the tour route that we go on goes much deeper. The darker the color, the deeper it gets. And it's a half-mile out that way. And then this other loop is the Wild Cave Tour. We aren't full staff now, so we don't have that until probably June. And then there's the little short one that just goes to that first room. So the elevator gets a lot of use. It's the second opening to the cave. All of the exploration has come down south. There's a major fault line that runs up through there. On the map, it looks like two of them crisscross, kind of. And it's just hard to get past them. In fact, there are faults all through here. I know there's a fault line there. And they got past it several years ago, but anytime you see kind of a chopped off area, there might be a fault line. And that's from when the Black Hills were formed. And the cave wasn't forming until way after that. So it's not like anything falls down. It's just that the breakdown is a little different in the United States. Mammoth Cave in Kentucky is the longest in the world. And in 2013, we were the second longest in the world. And then we heard two Mexican caves connected. And they had, I think, 199 miles. It would have been... Oh, a flash doesn't hurt the cave. Okay, we are going down to Upper Cave. And we go down about 240 feet in under 30 seconds. And we're going to get a lot deeper than that. So we'll be coming back up from Lower Cave. Same elevator, we just get on at a lower level.
Is there ever gold in the caves, or why?
Okay, we're down to the door down there, but don't open it. This is a breathing cave. I don't think it's just steady. Come right into this little area right here. And this is the Tartar Ring. And I'm going to open up this gate right here. A tunnel for construction purposes. And they survey and map as they explore. So they had surveyed down here and they surveyed on the surface. Then they made an educated guess as to whether they hit the right spot. And you come around this rock. There's the spike. And if you look directly above that, a long electrical cord down it with a light bulb on the end. And then they had to come in from the historic area, and fast people can make it in about 5 hours. This is where you're crawling and climbing and you have a hard hat with a light on. He is coming up. I always know if there are people down there because there are. This was flattened out when they wanted to do the construction, they had to have some kind of a base for it. But this is a natural breakdown room, and if you look at this yellow dome, you can see where a chunk has fallen down. And that happened a long time ago. I don't know how long ago. But when they found the room, all of that rubble was just piled up here. So, limestone, so we tend to see it places like a ceiling. The big black top on them, so this is nailhead spar. Started until the early 1960s, and the original, and that was just some local guys, brothers, who were riding through Hell Canyon, and they heard a whistling sound. So the cave was breathing out. They were looking for the source, and about 60 feet up on the canyon wall, they found a hole. So they're the ones that came up with the name Jewel. And once they got in and explored, they realized the crystals in here are calcite. And these are calcite crystals that have a pointed end on each crystal. And so this is what they call dogtooth spar. And it's found in pockets like these all through the cave. And I had a lot of people ask if those were geodes. And think about it, the only hole, see, was that little one that was eroded open in the canyon. So basically, there's nothing living down here. At least there wasn't before we came. And it is like a geode. And this is also Christian 45 steps. You never. That's that manganese right there.
Yeah, don't touch that. Why is it so moist? It's just damp down here, right?
Yeah. Construction a little bit later because it's interesting, I think. Down here I'm going to give you a very brief explanation of how this part of the cave was formed and how the millions and millions of years before the Black Hills were. And, the Black Hills were formed about 65 million years ago when there was an uplift. And the limestone layer was here, and that uplift came up, and dioxide was going through the decaying plant and animal matter on the surface, and we had a solution of carbonic acid. And what's in, what do we drink that has carbonic acid? You know that one?
Soda.
Sodas, yeah. And I said, we drink it, it doesn't hurt. You understand?
Yeah.
I suppose it does to teeth what it does to limestone. It dissolves it. So it's dissolved out, and then one crack would meet another. The crystals were formed, the geologist told, and the water drained out again. And it was while it was filled with water that the crystals were formed. And are on here. It fell down from somewhere in this. Around and take a look at that broken off. 8 inches thick, and that's typical at this level of the cave. It is nail head spar. Is the water drained out of the, because I see people look at this thing right up here. And then it's usually like one person looks up and then they poke whoever they're with and then.
Awesome.
I've had more than one person going through here ask me if it's ever been used as a movie set for a sci-fi or a horror movie. I think a good set, but
Oh, so it hasn't?
no. Park Service, they wouldn't let it happen.
Oh.
Spectacular. You can just sit down and wait. Wow. Yeah.
This is incredible.
Yeah, it's in a the first year I worked out here,
Yeah.
I just practically fell in love with it.
Oh, yeah. It's like peaceful. I can't imagine what it was like before they had the stage.
Or, you know, that they wanted to go down. Has anybody been to Wind Cave?
Yeah.
This is our box work. Instead of dissolving the walls out, for some reason, the solution in the crack got hard, and harder than the limestone that was around it. So that the limestone wore away, and then the cracks were left hanging. There's our... When you get to the top of the stairs, you're going to have to duck your head again.
Oh yeah, I felt it. Wow. That looks like something from a movie.
Yes. Light is on this spot long enough, then they turn the lights off, it will glow.
Wow.
But they don't like us doing that because you have a lot of light on that, you're going to ruin the formation.
That's true.
Anyway, I like showing these little stalactites. Just because you're close enough to them, you can kind of see how they're forming. That water is coming down through the limestone, and the water is filled with calcite. And each time it drips from the ceiling, then it leaves calcite behind. So each time it drips, the thing gets longer and longer. And where you have stalactites, you should have stalagmites on the floor. However, every place we go, they have, and so we have to go where we don't get to walk to see them. And we can see back, we've got a few longer stalactites, and then you can match it up with the bumps on the floor that are stalagmites. And then we have a nice little pair right here by us. If they join, then that's a column type. But right here, let's see, right there, that is a fragile little soda straw. But we have a problem because it joined at the bottom. So now it's plugged up, the water can't come down the center, so it has to come on the outside. And so coming on the outside, it'll get these?
No, straight, right above you and I.
Oh, now water comes down kind of the wall. These, I think they look like diamonds on the end of them when they shine the light. But look, these are draperies over here too. Looks like they're trying to, these look like jellyfish. And they do. Draperies take on a lot of different shapes because the walls are so bumpy and odd shaped. And I'll tell you about the man. And then later on they had a hard hat with a carbide lamp. But that water is really a solution of carbonic acid, so it will dissolve the limestone or the crystals that it flows over. And you get that effect. We're going to be very close to some flowstone a little ways down the trail. And if you come over in this area where I am, you can see over here on the floor. I had a lot of people ask me if that's a hole with a light down there. No, when the drip hits it, it has ripples. It's just a little pool. And one of the things that's on this pool, I'll point out, is because you can see kind of crescent-shaped dams there. I guess they're calcite. But there's, and then there's a curvy path. Stop on the path.
Okay.
And then I'll catch up with it.
Is this where she wanted us to stop?
Hey, is this stuff right here?
Yeah.
I couldn't find it. It could dead end right in there. So I wouldn't have been able to see it as a passage. And then this passage is just going down. Okay, we can go.
Okay. It's like magical down here or something.
Yeah.
It's so fantastic.
When I get kids that, young kids
Oh, yeah.
that are scared, then I tell them it's just like a big underground castle.
Oh, and they're not as scared. Is this what's inside of all mountains for the most part? No?
From what I understand, each cave is going to be unique, and it just depends. This is the place where I saw people getting black on the back of their leg.
Oh.
So just
You will. Why not?
Watch your head.
The orange plastic ribbon corresponds to the orange level on the map. And you'll notice that there's a diagonal cut on the end of it. The other end should have a straight cut on it. The diagonal end is supposed to be pointing to the entrance. So when you come across a ribbon with the diagonal and straight cut on the other end, you know which way is in and which way is out. And before this trail was here, you could see how much manganese was tracked here. Looks like they just sat down and slid down in there. So I'm pretty sure they did use this. You can see where it's tracked. Could be 0. But when they were surveying back in the 1960s, they wrote on the walls. And they're not allowed to do that anymore because it's Park Service and you're defacing the cave. But I had a man on one of my tours who said, well, they didn't have Sharpies back in the 60s. So what did they use? And Jan Kahn told me, she said they just stuck their finger in. When we get up this little flight of stairs, on your left will be flowstone, so that's where you need to be kind of careful.
On this. Wow.
And this is kind of dry right now. Usually it's wetter. It brings the iron oxide down to give it this color. And this whole corner has been very wet at some point in time. You've got a lot of different kinds of formations in here. And I'll have you think something already.
And you said that was the flowstone?
Yeah. And a lot of the formations are kind of a combination of a couple of things. And flowstone kind of. But that's not the bad part. The bad part is the light's kind of funny toward the bottom of this flight of stairs. I missed a step one time, but I was hanging onto the railings so I didn't fall. Anyway, once you get past the stairs, we're going to be going by some drip holes. Instead of making a stalactite and stalagmite, I think the water's coming down too fast. The water's full of calcite, and so when it drips, it makes a pile of calcite right beside the trail. It's not very pretty below the surface.
Just gonna jump.
The light's a lot better on this part, and the steps are a little better. In here, and I didn't know for a long time, and finally I found out that some manganese is purple. And I found a book in our library, a chance to read it. But it has something to do with what's down here would be manganese oxide, only you could be like dioxide, I suppose trioxide, and so forth. So, and that will make a color difference. Anyway, we will go down these stairs. Oh, this here, oops, sorry.
Oh no, that's all right.
This area is called Spooky Hollow.
Oh, it is spooky.
Yeah.
That was spooky.
And here they are.
Oh. Oh, it looks like mud or something.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, dripped on me.
You certainly wouldn't think it's a fragile formation. And the water is coming from this chimney up here. So, and I've never been able to see how far up it goes because I can't step over there. But the water comes down pretty fast and they seem to be pretty big drops, and I think that's why we don't get a stalactite. And it grows fast. They had to cut it off. And this is the one formation I can see changes in summer to summer and even within a summer sometimes. And I'll have you go down. You can just stop right where that curve is.
Okay.
Because I'm supposed to stay by this. Yeah, that goes up.
She said to stop here.
Right up ahead is the deepest spot, and it's where this trail goes down in a dip. If you're taller than I am, you'll have to duck your head. I can usually walk on here.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, watch your head. Wait, oh. Oh, yeah, that's true.
37 stories.
Oh, that's how high up we are? Or
Yeah.
down we are?
15 feet, so it should be about 37 stories.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
a little less, but. And in this area, they had to break up a lot of crystals, so we get a lot of sparkly stuff. And I think the little pink stripes on there are kind of interesting. I tried to find out what that might be, and the geologist said he just wasn't sure. It was just something. Iron oxide might give it that color, but I think there are some other things that would too.
It's so nice and cool down here.
Yeah,
It's like air conditioned.
yeah, and it's this way year round.
Yeah.
So like when they were doing the construction, they
they-
work year round.
Oh, even in the winter, I suppose.
Yeah, I have a hard time getting used to it each year. Because they don't work in the winter.
So you said it stays the same temperature winter and summer down
Yeah.
here? Mm-hmm. And you guys don't do tours in the winter though, right?
We are open and usually tour. But there are stretches of time in the winter, of course, we don't have anybody. One of the kids going by this said, "Wow, that looks like a gravy waterfall." See, now Wind Cave doesn't have this.
We're not going to go there, don't worry.
Long, and it's just a hair over an inch thick. Actually, the shape itself would be called a ribbon. And it's made when a single line of water goes down the slanted wall like that, but gravity pulls the calcite. And anyway, there must just be some iron oxide up at the top to give it the coloring.
Wow.
And when you're done there, You
Oh, I'm
can
done.
leave.
This. Oh yeah. Oh yes, keep going. Yeah. Let's go buy some light though.
No.
Okay, let's do a picture.
Maybe up there.
Yeah, 'cause
We're right around the same height. So I don't think they get much taller, but they sure get bigger. They found, and they said that the first guy to step into that room said,
echo.
"This is a big room." The guy behind him said, "Duh," and they named the room the Big Operation in the winter, just because there's less going on around here. But the communication is very important too. They have to plan those 4-day trips down to the last detail, because without any communication, if they're not out at the right time, somebody's got to go looking for them. But we've never had a death. We've never even had a bad accident. You know, like nobody's ever had to be carried out. And in any accidents we have happen right here on the tour routes. And that's because people aren't familiar with it. So we'll have falls or something. But anyway, the people who were the most did the most exploration were Herb and Jan Kahn, and they were avid rock climbers and moved from the East Coast area out here just to climb the granite. And they set all kinds of records, but the one that always sticks in my mind is Jan Kahn was the first woman to free climb Devil's Tower. So no equipment. And anyway, they had a friend who was a climber who was working on a master's degree in geology. He wanted to come into Jewel Cave and explore, and he wasn't allowed to come alone. You have to have at least 3. So he asked Herb and Jan to come. They said they didn't think they'd like it, but he was a friend. But once they got in, they were finding so many exciting things that they didn't stop for 22 years. And it was practically constant. There was one comment in the archives up there, I think it was Jan said something like, well, we'd go in and explore for 2 or 3 days, and then we'd go home and heal our bruises. And we'd go in for 2 or 3 days, and then we'd go home and heal our bruises. So anyway, they're the ones that found all of this area through here. And with other people, because there was always a third person, but it wasn't always the same person. And they were very instrumental in getting this project going. Herb Kahn was an electrical engineer. He planned the lighting. They wanted it to look as natural as possible, so they tried to make everything kind of backlit.
It's a lot of stairs here.
Yeah.
145 or the same as going down?
Oh.
Or is this the way we came?
No, because we spiraled down.
Oh yeah.
And we won't have to go up as many as we went down.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a fault line that runs through here. They tell me, anyway. And you'll notice that the breakdown is huge boulders. And
This is amazing.
Thing, and kind of sat down and straddled this, and then you can see where the dirt is kind of disturbed. And then when they got out to this point, they made it smooth, sliding down. But there's a foot place there, and a couple of places through here that they would have.
That's a long time ago. That was in the 60s they did that?
Probably, because they wouldn't have, when they got this in, they don't mess with that. But anyway.
Because this looks like it's in good condition. Does it not get rusty or something, or must not?
It's all aluminum, and they did that
so it
on
wouldn't,
purpose.
yeah.
It wouldn't, yeah. And the little bumps that you feel on some of these railings are calcite.
Wow.
You know, it's just
Dripping.
Yeah.
So there's life, kind of.
What is this? What's wrong with
It just keeps going.
Yeah.
So how far we walked? A half a mile, or?
And the first day that I came back after being off in the winter, I was kind of sore. Not so bad. It's would be under resource management, and you ask for a form and fill it out, and then I don't know what happens from there. And the parking lot. And they figured the parking lot was diverting water to a different, waited for it to trickle down. And I read in a report it was something like maybe 3 on the Wild Cave Tour route, but not here. That wasn't it. Then they decided, since we have to, even though they tried hard not to damage anything, that they could have shifted something or cracked something, and it comes like this all the time now. Back up to the first room.
Oh.
Then the tunnels, started in here. Or I don't know.
It's a lot of funding. I mean, it must have costed millions.
Surprisingly, The whole thing, I do have $1,000. And then the construction out there was another $500,000 or so, because it was only a little over $1 million for the whole project.
Back in the 60s though, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Nowadays.
Be like 10 million.
Yeah, as a high school teacher on a college university.
I feel educated. Thank you.
Oh, good. You're welcome. This will now take 40 seconds.
So it goes up just as fast as it goes down.
I think so. Oh, it came out to about 40, 41 miles an hour.
Does it feel like you're moving it all?
Yeah, really, it's very smooth, and it's the old original.
Supposed to be something.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you. Really? God damn it. Just not, oh, there we go. Oh, that was great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, you're hungry? That's because you only had salad, right?
Probably it's like 4.
Yeah, I guess that was a while.
4:08.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Holy cow. Oh, yeah, I guess that's an hour and 20. That was interesting.
That was neat.
Oh, I'm blind.
I know, right?
What are we